Power Vortex here, and today I have discovered something great. You know Destiny and Dying Light? They have had a baby. That baby is called Tom Clancy's The Division. Now Tom Clancy has some great games, such as Splinter Cell or Rainbow Six Siege, but this new one I was kind of skeptical about, and I've heard a lot of people questioning it. Like, should I get it? Is it good? And I didn't know what to do. So my friends all recommended it, so I got it because, I was able to. So I got it and I put it in, and I don't know what I expected. I started playing, and it seemed pretty good, and I really got into it, and it's just an amazing game. So right now, I'm going to go over a quick review for any of those who aren't sure about it or have it and want to see what other people think of it. So, starting off, The Division is a very loot-based game. This is where Destiny starts to come in, where you have a chance from enemies to drop loot that is better or worse than what you have. And if you don't like this kind of game, this game is not for you, because you have to grind out to get better gear. Also, the enemies really change, and the harder they are, the better they give you, obviously, and the higher level you are, the better. And since I'm talking about the enemies, I really love how they did it in this game. There are many different kind of enemies, such as chargers or engineers that can put down turrets and stuff like that. But really, they all have different levels of damage they can do to you. And say that there's a shotgunner or a charger. Once you take down their armor, then they have no health. And it's great because they did a great damage ratio to health. Because if the thing deals not that much damage to you, then its armor is huge, like a guard, which is a giant heavy guy. But if it's a high amount of damage really quick, then they have no health, and it's great. Getting onto the enemies. There are a couple different kinds of enemies, and each enemy has its own unique weapons and abilities. Like the sniper has a pistol and a sniper, and they're very deadly. So each enemy, there's different ways to beat them, but essentially it's all the same thing. Just shoot your gun at it. Speaking of the weapons and the armor, weapon and armor are not extremely hard to get across. There are many shops, many shops, but the real good stuff you don't even have access to until later into the game. Anyway, Dying Light kind of comes in here because the cover system is a huge part of this game. You may not think about it, it's just another mechanic, but you can duck around cover and walls, and it's amazing because you can shoot around it, and it's a giant aspect of the game because you can't take enemies in this game on head on. They're way too powerful for you. So unless you have a plan, you really need that cover. And as you can see throughout this gameplay, cover comes in handy a lot with protection. You can shoot around the cover, you can also aim. It's just an all-around great thing. So now I want to get into the PvE versus PvP section. The PvE is, there are many enemies all the time, and loot comes after doing a lot of missions or killing really hard bosses. But then there's this place called the Dark Zone. The Dark Zone is about, I'd say, a third of the map, maybe a little less. And it's right in the middle, and there are 6 sections to it. In this Dark Zone, there are extremely tough enemies on what is a bracket system. So from a certain level to a certain level, you'll only find people and enemies of that in those levels, and so on and so forth. So you can go in as a level 15 and be to about, I think it's a 14 to 20 bracket, and from there will only be level 14 to 20 enemies based on what part of the Dark Zone you're in. Plus, only people who are in levels 14 to 20 can be in there. Also, what happens is, besides there being super tough enemies that you can't find outside of it, there are players that can actually help you or destroy you. If you're one person, which I would never recommend in the Dark Zone, if you're one person down there and there's a group of 3 guys, they're going to kill you because you can steal other people's loot. It's pretty brutal, actually. But the reward is amazing, because if you can get to rank 30 and then 50, you can get the best gear in the game. speaking of gear and weapons, I should have gone over this earlier, but there are different ranks. There's, well, it doesn't really have a specific name, so I'll call it common. And those are the whites. They're not very good. They're the starting game, you know. And this is a lot like Destiny. There's the specialized, which is which is pretty common, but you know, it's pretty good. Those are the greens. Then there are blues, which is rare, and you know, that's how level system. Superiors, which are purple, and high end, which is gold. And if you ever play Destiny, you know that this is just like the commons, I don't even remember what they're called. You know, the commons and all that. The, you know, the exotics, the legendaries, that kind of stuff. So it's pretty much just a different system of grinding out and doing stuff. Another great aspect of this game is that every single part of it you can have teammates with. So, and this is a major part of the game, because if you don't have any friends that play this game, which is kind of hard to believe, it's a great game. I've heard great stuff about it, and I know a lot. It's great. I love playing it. I'm playing it every day. If you don't have friends, the experience goes from about an 8.5 to a 9 down to about a 5, because you cannot go in the dark zone alone. Plus, a lot of the missions are really hard. Sure, you can matchmake, but it's a lot better to play with your friends. So, pretty much overall, I would give this game an 8.5 to 9 out of 10. It's a really good game. There are a couple things that kind of aggravating at times, but besides that, it's a great game. If you don't have any friends, though, I'd have to give it a 4. So, thank you all for joining me for this review, and I hope to do a couple more in the future, and please go buy The Division. It is a great game. Hope you all have a great day. See you later.